Iran sends shock response to US peace proposal. Trump calls it totally unacceptable. Tonight, the world may be standing on the edge of another major Middle East escalation. Iran has officially responded to the US peace proposal, and President Trump is furious. He did not accept their proposal. Let's read on and find out what it's all about. Calling Tehran's response totally unacceptable, Trump now warns the fragile ceasefire could collapse at any moment. He says he's on life support. But what exactly did Iran demand? Why is the Strait of Hormuz suddenly back in the spotlight? And could this disagreement push the US and Iran closer to direct conflict once again? Stay with us because the details emerging tonight are raising serious global concerns. Welcome back to World Daily, your trusted source for global news, politics, and breaking international developments. Today, we are covering the dramatic new twist in the growing tension between the United States and Iran after Tehran officially delivered its response to Washington's latest peace proposal. Trump demanded a peace proposal, they wrote a peace proposal, and he calls it unacceptable. Report says the response was sent through Pakistani mediators, but instead of easing tensions, the message appeared to have deepened the divide between both sides. It means they didn't send a peace proposal. That is what it is steering towards. But let's find out more. Here is everything we know so far. For weeks, tension between Washington and Tehran have remained dangerously high. The US have reportedly proposed a long-term framework designed to stop the conflict and prevent further escalation in the region. Everybody's trying to see and maintain the peace in the area because, of course, vulnerable lives have been lost. Properties worth billions of dollars have been destroyed, and nobody loves war. Even though there will be casualties, but nobody loves war, right? According to multiple reports, the American proposal include major demands on Iran nuclear programs. America has always been telling them, you will not have a nuclear program because, according to Trump, he called them crazy and they can blow up the whole world if they have a nuclear program. And that was one of the things he doesn't want them to have. Demand on Iran nuclear program, including restriction on uranium enrichment and border security arrangements in the Middle East. But Iran viewed several parts of the proposal as unfair and one-sided. Iran did not really accept to go the way the United States wants them to go. Because the conflict is no longer just about Iran and the United States, it now involves regional security, oil shipping routes, sanctions, and tensions involving the Lebanon and the Strait of Hormuz. So what exactly did Iran say? What did they write in the peace proposal that triggered Trump to get so worked up and not interested? Reports indicate that Iran's response focused heavily on ending hostilities across the region rather than immediately agreeing to all US demands regarding its nuclear program. They didn't talk anything about nuclear programs. They were talking about having peace in the region, ending all the hostilities. But the main thing the United States want them to agree to is, I am not going to have a nuclear weapon. I am not going to have that. But they didn't say that, right? Iran reportedly demand an end to US sanctions, removal of restrictions on Iranian oil exports, guarantees against future attacks, and reopening safe shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. One of the biggest disagreements center on uranium enrichment. The US reportedly wanted Iran to stop enrichment activities for many years and dismantle part of its nuclear infrastructure. Iran rejected the idea. Instead, Tehran reportedly suggested temporary remits and future negotiations rather than permanent dismantling. They're saying no, we're a sovereign nation, we need to own this and we want to own this, right? So this is where talk appears to have stalled. Trump reacts strongly. President Trump did not hold back. After reviewing Iran's proposal and response, Trump reportedly described it as totally unacceptable and warned that the ceasefire was now on life support. According to reports, Trump believes Iran backs away from earlier understandings and is now demanding too many concessions. He also suggests that military pressure could resume if negotiations fail completely. Wow. Meanwhile, tensions in the Strait of Hormuz remain extremely sensitive. This narrow waterway is one of the most important oil shipping routes in the world, and any disruption there could impact global oil price almost immediately, and there has been upsurge of oil price worldwide. Why the world is watching closely, the reason is the story matters so much because the stakes are enormous. If diplomacy fails, oil markets could become unstable. Shipping routes may face disruption, regional conflicts could intensify, and global powers may become more involved. Several reports already suggest that military activity and incidents have continued despite ceasefire efforts. Of course, there are still military activities even with a ceasefire. At the same time, both Washington and Tehran appear unwilling to fully back down. So, who is going to compromise? Who is going to calm down for the order? That leaves the world watching closely to see whether diplomacy can still survive or whether the region moves towards another dangerous phase. So tonight, the big question remains, can the United States and Iran still reach a deal? Or are we witnessing the collapse of another major peace effort? As new development continues to emerge, World Daily will keep bringing you the latest updates and global analysis. If you find this information helpful, make sure you subscribe to World